And that is in part two, pretty early on.
Is that
That's like the end of part two.
oh, the smoke of my own breath?
That's the one that starts houses and rooms are full of perfumes.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I breathe the fragrance myself and know it and like it.
Okay, so honestly, we have two different. We'll see how because yours separated into sections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine is not. So I guess he added sections later on. It's interesting that he added more structure as he
Yeah.
went through instead of less.
Really, you think?
Well,
I think it makes sense that
I
he
think
added
I
more
think it makes
for-
sense, but I think it goes against kind of the free verse, adding a little structure here and there to
It probably added a lot more clarity
right. This I mean, the free is
to,
only so free, right? Like it's only so.
yeah.
If you lose the realm of meaning, well, then you're kind of going into nonsense. Yeah. But my first question before we get into details or any specific lines you want to hit, the ellipses.
Yeah.
Did yours have a lot of ellipses, or did he edit those out later on?
I think he must have edited a lot of those out because there was not a lot in this poem.
Holy shit,
They're
dude!
here and there.
In this
Like, and
one,
because I was reading I was looking at the introduction that you have, not the introduction, like Whitman's
kind of like
own
yeah,
introduction.
yeah, yeah,
And there were a shitload of ellipses in
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like,
Dude, like my
this must be
version.
what,
I know you probably can't see this. It's like literally
oh,
every sentence. There's like an ellipses after to kind of separate. Okay, yeah, so very different.
yeah.
Just in that
Yeah, I don't
second
have
stanza.
nearly as many.
So very interesting. And I guess we've talked about ellipses before. We've hit on them. Poets use them in a couple different ways. He's not really using them in like a unique way in this, but he is using them often and kind of in place of commas or periods. And I guess he kind of takes that away in later edits.
Yeah, maybe that's where commas are, where I was like, because
The
I
fir-
was getting really bitchy about commas
yeah,
at first.
the
I had
first
to really
the
get
first
used to it.
ellipses in the whole song of myself that isn't in yours that you just showed me. I loaf and invite my soul, comma, break. I lean and loaf at my ease, ellipses, observing a spear of summer grass.
Yeah, I don't have.
Yeah, and then you go, houses and rooms are full of perfumes, ellipses, the shelves are crowded with perfumes, comma, break. I breathe the fragrance myself and know it and like it. And that keeps
Yeah,
happening.
that first one is just a comma after perfumes in my copy, but there's nothing after um Eileen and loaf at my ease. It's just
Observing a
Eileen and
spear.
loaf. Yeah, there's
Okay.
no punctuation there.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, then it does act as like a comma in a few of these instances, and then he did just kind of edit them out because they do work, but they are, I would say, they're overused. This is part of the indulgence in his kind of style here, which makes sense that he kind of edited them out through different various versions because they are kind of indulged. They're not needed in every instance here. They're not doing much that a comma and or period would do, right? Kind of thing. Uh, but that's interesting. Okay. Well, there's my first question. Just doesn't matter at all because he edited them out eventually.
Yeah, apparently he didn't think they mattered enough.
Right. Well, and the way they're used, I would say, is they don't really. Like,
Yeah.
we talked a little bit about, like, when we did Kelly's book, and obviously this is, 150 years after Whitman, but
Yeah.
she used them in, I think, a couple different unique ways and used them as kind of like a uh, all encompassing kind of punctuation mark. Uh, Similar to like an M dash or something like that. She really kind of used
Yeah.
them in a unique way in various different ways. And here it's just kind of like dot dot dot, pause, some move on kind of thing. Nothing super special, but it was 150 years ago, if more than that now. So 175 years almost.
Yeah, but I think these first sections were where maybe I was still at my most interested. So I was like the most enthusiastic.